country's most senior religious figures, Rabbi Yitzhak Yosef, for calling Russian immigrants religion-hating Gentiles. John McManus reports.
Yitzhak Yosef is no stranger to controversy. In the past, he's been accused of calling black people monkeys. Now, the leader of Israel's Sephardic Jews has criticised the country's law of return, which grants citizenship to Jewish immigrants, even if they aren't defined as Jewish under religious law. Rabbi Yosef said the law had allowed what he called masses of Gentiles to enter Israel, some of whom he said were communists, hostile to religion or haters of religion. Hundreds of thousands of immigrants from the former Soviet Union made their home in Israel after the end of the Cold War. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has condemned the comments, calling immigrants from former Soviet countries a blessing for Israel.
John McManus reporting. Now to the world of global currencies.
For over 40 years, we've been the world's leading global currency solutions provider. We have an unmatched presence in major airports and retail outlets. We'll take you further on your journey. Welcome to Travelex Currency Solutions.
And that's an excerpt from a video promoting the British-based foreign exchange company Travelex. It's emerged that hackers are now holding Travelex to ransom, a week after it was devastated by a cyber attack, which meant that computer systems in 30 countries had to be switched off. Staff at its branches have been reduced to using pen and paper. I heard more from our cyber correspondent, Joe Tidy.
Well, the first we heard about this was just after the new year, when it was discovered and it was revealed that Travelex was the victim of what they were calling a malware attack, a cyber attack. They didn't give any details, and they still haven't given any details about what type of attack that was. And we now know from speaking to the Met Police and from other people in the information security industry that this is a ransomware attack, which means that hackers have gained access to Travelex's computer systems, and then they have launched their attack at a point of their choosing. I've since spoken to some hackers who are taking responsibility for this, and they say they are holding Travelex to ransom for $6 million, and Travelex have 7 days to pay the money, or the hackers will release all the data that they've downloaded and delete all the files that are the back end of Travelex's system.
And what is this data? Is it customers' data?
We don't know. Travelex have said all along, they've said that no customer data has been compromised. What they haven't said is whether or not that data is in their control. So it may not have been compromised as in sold online or given out to the dark web, but it may be in the possession of the hackers, and it may be that they are in this situation where they are negotiating whether or not it will be released. The hackers tell me they have got date of births, credit card information, social security numbers. They even said they've got some driver's license details as well. They say they've downloaded 5 gigabits of data, which some cybersecurity experts have told me could amount to tens of millions of customer data.
And it seems extraordinary that these hackers are so confident they're not going to be traced, that they're talking to you, a journalist.
Yeah, and it surprised me that they would talk to me actually as well, because they are in what is a very criminal enterprise. They're earning lots and lots of money in a very illegal way. But this gang in particular, they've been going back years. They are linked to another gang, which was called Gand Crab. Apparently, they say, made at $1.6 billion doing exactly this sort of work. And now they've resurfaced, and they obviously, very plainly, see themselves as immune to any repercussions.
And what do the police say about this?
Well, the Met Police have said they are dealing with a ransomware incident. They are leading the investigation alongside Travelex. They said that they were contacted on the 2nd of January about this. They haven't given us any other details about this. What is surprising is how Travelex has responded to this. They haven't emailed any customers about what's going on. They haven't even admitted publicly that this is a ransomware attack. And they've remained extremely secretive about what's going on.
Are all companies vulnerable to this kind of attack? Because listening to it, it's absolutely terrifying.
Yes, what we're seeing, the trend in the last couple of years, this is a very highly targeted attack where the hackers have picked Travelex and they've spent a long time trying to probe and get inside the network, and they've succeeded. And every company is vulnerable to this, no matter how safe this and secure the network is. It's a case of how you respond once it happens.
Our cyber correspondent, Joe Tidy. Now news of another podcast from the BBC World Service.
For teenagers like me, it's hard to imagine a world where the tech we take for granted didn't exist.
We didn't have email back then. You know, everything was mail or we didn't have internet.
So in our new podcast, World Wide Web, 12 of us from around the world will be spending time with the people who invented it.
We believed someday everybody would have a cell phone.
Finding out how they came up with their ideas.
I'm always saying yes to the weirdest of things just so I can find all those crazy things in life that are really fun.
And asking for advice.
You gotta figure out what drives you. What makes you really